today's topic, we're going to talk about George Steinbrenner that passed away yesterday at the age of 80 here in Tampa, Florida. He was obviously the owner of the New York Yankees, and in all accounts, he was seen to be a pretty good guy. People hadn't said anything bad to say about him. Even though people, if you're a bad person, people will talk bad about you, even if you pass away. So it's been refreshing to hear all the good things. I didn't know some of the things right here in Tampa that Mr. Steinbrenner did. I knew he had a house down here in South Tampa, and I knew that he had built a nice facility for the Yankees spring training over here up here on Northdale, maybe across from the in this Tampa Bay Buck Stadium area, across the street over there. Which I've been in that facility before, and it's pretty nice. But my understanding, everything the Yankees did underneath Mr. Steinbrenner was always heads and shoulders above the rest. Mr. Steinbrenner also did a lot of things here in Tampa. I understand that just recently, just a couple of months ago, that there was a school named in his honor here in Tampa, and I'm hearing that a wing on one of the hospitals was built. I think he donated something like $1 million to add an extra wing on to one of the hospitals here in Tampa to help areas for children that need to come in so they don't have to commingle with the adults when they come in and have medical problems. But that's just a couple of few things that I've heard in the last 24 hours. I obviously don't know the man personally, but at least it's outside of the world of baseball. People have a lot of good things to say about Mr. Steinbrenner, and also inside the world of baseball. Now, obviously, Mr. Steinbrenner, like any other owner, wants to win. And you hear all the stories of him being nicknamed manager or something like that, or I think they call him the boss. And because maybe he was more of a hands-on owner, he wanted to go down and make sure that the players, and I saw him talking to the players, and the players seem to be highly respected him. It's always going to be somebody that don't, but that's the nature of life. But overall, it looks like at least the people that has been spoken good things about Mr. Steinbrenner and what he did. And I know that he bought the team back in 1973, and they say for something like maybe $8.8 million. And I heard yesterday someone said it was worth something like $1.6 billion, which is as a major increase from 73 to the present moment. Those are some huge numbers over the length of time that he's owned the team. And I understand that through some of the information I've heard yesterday that some of the players that make the big money today can look back to him, because I understand that when he came into the league at some point, he started increasing salaries to at that point numbers that you had never been seen before. When baseball players wasn't really making millions and millions of dollars a year back in the early 70s. He wanted to win. He compiles a system that paid a tremendous amount of money, and everybody wanted to be a Yankee. And people say even if you only played for him for just a little while, he always treated people like they were still a Yankee. And I guess that's important. And I think when I look back and I remember when Johnny Damon came to the Yankees and he had the long hair and the beard, and I remember I had heard it before then, but I heard it then. One of the things you have to do when you come to the Yankees is have a short haircut, and the facial hair has to be removed. And that's just the way Mr. Steinbrenner would. He wanted everybody clean. He was always clean cut. Have you ever seen him? He was never any long sideburns there, pretty much. He was always pretty clean cut. And I never saw any facial hair on him. And I guess he wanted to run his team the same way. You don't want to have people, looking like thugs on the team with, big giant beards and long hair down their back. And he just wasn't having it. And even when the big unit came to the Yankees, and we all knew that he had facial hair and he had the long hair and he had to straighten up. If you want to be a Yankee, that was one of the criteria. You had to be clean shaven, and there was not a discussion. Everybody was going to do it, or you don't play on the team. And that's a good little concept, a good little thing to follow. Just keeping it real and making sure everybody stay professional looking. I think some other teams and some other sports should maybe follow that same idea of keeping things in perspective when it comes to players, and making sure they look like everyday citizens, and not like they just came out of a 30-day rehab or something. So he was good with doing that. And on all accounts, with things I heard yesterday, people said he just wanted to win, and he wanted to win bad, and it reflects in the amount of titles that they had at 27 World Series titles. It's more than I know of than any other team has ever had. I think bar none, hands down. I don't think there's anybody close. They had I think they won 16. They won 16 the divisional titles as well. So it is definitely paid off for the Yankees to when Mr. Steinbrenner came in there and started doing what he did and decided that what he was going to do was change the face of baseball, and it made an impact that's everlasting. And then even after his death, it's going to continue to go on because his two sons, I'm sure, is going to be running things somewhat similar to what Mr. Steinbrenner did. Maybe not everything, but they grew up for the most part paying attention to what he did. So I'm sure that they have some of his stuff that he did instilled in them. And so, what else can you say about the guy besides overall, he's seen and done a lot and gave a lot to a lot of people all over the world, all over the United States, and maybe even abroad. I don't know. But those are just some of the things that I've heard. I don't know anything about the guy personally. So these are just not even my opinions. These are just things I've heard. And I'm just pretty much feeding them back and touching on the subject. So if you have more to say, or you want to, if I missed something that you thought was important, that you want to go back and reiterate or touch on for the first time, you can always email me at live. Let me see what I always forget my email address. I think it's backwards to my YouTube, and I keep doing that. But it's liveroosevelt@gmail.com. Or you can go out and check out segments of the show at YouTube/Roosevelt Live. Tell me what you think. Those are just some observations that I've picked up on over the last 24 hours for things that people have said about Mr. Steinbrenner and his family. So tell me what you think.